This is question 7 on the chapter 4 worksheet. We're finding the domain of a logarithmic function. So f of x equals the natural log of 4 minus 3x. So you recall that logarithms, the domain in general, is greater than 0. They have to, what you plug into a logarithm has to be greater than 0. It can't be 0, it can't be negative. And that's in contrast to problems like square roots, where it can be 0, but it can't be negative. So there's that little teeny difference between the domain of a root, square root, fourth root, an even root, and a logarithm. So it has to be greater than 0. So all we do is we take the argument of the logarithm, 4 minus 3x, and we set it greater than 0. And then we solve it. So I would be inclined to say, let's move this 3x to the other side up there. And then I really want the x on the right. I mean, on the left instead of on the right. But if I switch it to the right, it's not as easy as when it's an equal sign. I have to switch everything, because if 4 is greater than 3x, then doesn't that mean that 3x is less than 4? Does that switch make sense? So then all we have to do is just say x is less than 4/3, which means negative infinity to 4/3, because it's less than. And it doesn't include it because it's a logarithm. If you plug in 4 here, we're going to get 0. We don't want 0, so we have to not include the 4/3. So not fit. Domain of a logarithm. Now normally the logarithm would be, domain would be greater than 0. So why is this one less than? Yeah, it has to do with the fact that the x is a negative coefficient. The fact that we ended up having to switch things around. If we had moved the 4 over here to begin with, then we would have kept the greater than sign. But then what happens when you divide by a negative? The inequality sign switches. So you have to remember those little rules in order to make sure that you understand that even though a logarithm domain is normally this direction, because of the -3, it's switching it to this direction. It's like it's a reflection, right? Yeah, in fact, that is a negative on the x inside of the logarithm, which is a reflection over the y-axis. All these little details to make sure they work together and that you're getting the right answer because it makes sense, right? And